Hello, business bosses. Listen, I know a couple weeks ago we talked about inflation and so many people being worried about a recession. And we hear so much talk about how to recession proof your business. But how many conversations have you heard about how to audit proof your business? Well, today's Tax Tip Tuesday is all about how to avoid a tax audit. I know we think about when it comes to sports, we think about offense and defense. And listen, I'm not a big sports fan, but I was a cheerleader in high school. So I know enough to be dangerous. All right. And I know that it takes strategy and execution to win the game. Welcome to Tax Tip Tuesday with Tried and True Financial Services with none other than your girl, B. Valise Smith. Tried and True Financial Services is established to help entrepreneurs with the ABCs of finance to simplify your accounting, budgeting, and credit processes. And so today I want to talk about winning at the tax game. And winning at the tax game requires strategy and execution. And what does not work is listening to the chatter in the stands. All right. And when it comes to the IRS and your business, you want to be very clear about the appropriate tax laws that allow you to be successful, right? Am I right or wrong? You do want to know, right? Because knowledge is power. And so the IRS tax audits cost you money, it costs you time, and it's quite frankly a distraction. And we already have enough distractions in this life, in this world. Don't nobody have time for an IRS audit. And I'm happy to report that out of the 2 decades and counting that I've been doing taxes, I have never had to defend my clients in a tax audit on a tax return that we do, that we submitted to the IRS, because we're always very careful and very calculated. Okay, so you know that tax avoidance is legal. And that's where you take the tax law and you apply it to your specific situation where you're working on tax planning. Outside of the tax preparation, you're working on tax planning throughout the year. Tax evasion is illegal. So tax evasion oftentimes occur after the fact, where you've already earned your income, you've already paid your expenses, you know what your income and expenses are, but then you're going to take and try to manipulate that data to make it come out in your favor. That's tax evasion, and that is illegal. And here at Tried and True Financial Services, we don't participate in those types of shenanigans, right? We take tax compliance very seriously, and we go and we do tax planning for our clients to ensure that they're paying the least amount of taxes possible. And so, in order to make sure that you are paying the least amount of taxes possible and that you are avoiding a tax audit, I have 3 keys that I want to share with you. And I've kind of talked about them throughout the year, but I just want to reiterate them and tie them specifically to a tax audit. And one of the things is missing tax deadlines. You don't want to miss tax deadlines. There's so many reasons why you want to file your tax returns on time, not to mention fraud, which is a whole nother conversation. But when you file late, when you're constantly filing extensions or you're constantly missing even the extension due date, it throws up a red flag to make it seem like, as a business owner, you're not organized, you don't have your documents in place, that you're not ready, that you're not keeping copious records and notes, because those business owners who are keeping, their books throughout the year, when tax time comes, they're able to run their profit and loss statement and go ahead and get their taxes done. So when you miss tax deadlines repeatedly, that's a red flag. Another red flag is claiming too many business expenses, right? Too many, not accurate business expenses, not business expenses that you are entitled to, but too many business expenses, because there's a tax code that we can use to our advantage, and it's code section 162A that says that expenses have to be ordinary and necessary. And so that can be used for your good or for your bad. So understanding and knowing that your business expenses need to be ordinary for your industry and necessary for the line of business that you're operating in. And so when you're making up expenses that are not ordinarily showing up on tax return for businesses that are in your same industry, that's a red flag. Or when your income or businesses in your industry with that level of income have expenses that are much lower and yours are always inflated, that's a red flag. The IRS has access to all of this data. So you want to make sure that you are claiming accurate and appropriate tax expenses for your business. Okay. So nobody stays in business that are constantly taking losses. Nobody is in business to take a loss. You, at some point, hopefully you're running a profitable business. And that's what we're promoting, running profitable businesses and aligning our income and our expenses so that we can take care of our obligations that come as a cost of doing business. All right. And the last one I want to talk about today is claiming 100% business purposes on a vehicle. Now, if you have a fleet of heavy duty equipment or vans, cargo vans, things of that nature that you're just driving specifically for the business, that's a different story. What I'm referring to here is when you have a vehicle that you could or would ordinarily drive in the course of your day-to-day interactions, but you're taking 100% business deduction or write-off or section 179 on that vehicle. When you know good and well, you might have ran to the grocery store, you might have ran to the corner store, you might have ran to pick the kids up, drop the kids off, a number of things that you could be doing on a personal level. I hear it so often about expensing your lifestyle. And according to the IRS guidelines, there is no such thing as expensing your lifestyle. If you're always working, you don't believe in self-care. You're never taking a break for yourself to spend time with your family on a personal note when it's not business related. Who you trying to convince of that? And that's not good. That's not good business practice. Everybody needs a break. We all need to take a break. So again, that's a red flag for the IRS. And if that's the story of your life, then you better make sure that you have some copious notes and records to support that claim, because when the IRS questions you about it, you want to make sure that you can speak to it, because the burden of proof at that point would be on you to prove that. And so I just want to make sure that you are doing things decently and in order. And I'm not suggesting that the IRS will prevent you and your business from achieving success. That's furthest from the truth, because the tax code, the IRS code is designed for small businesses to succeed. The small business space is one of the largest areas or arenas in the IRS tax code to benefit small business owners. Okay. And so we just want to make sure that you're not taking general advice from out there in the airways. You're not seeing information and then applying it to yours when you are not doing an apples to apples comparison, when you're comparing yourself to someone who makes 10 times, 100 times more money than you, but you want your outcome to look like theirs. That is not realistic. So just make sure that you're working with someone who you trust, that has your best interest in mind. And here in Tried and True Financial Services, we make sure that we have your best interest in mind. So if you're looking for a reputable tax accountant, someone who is accurate, proven, and reliable, I urge you to look no further than Tried and True Financial Services, because we are here. We are established to help small business owners with the ABCs of finance to ensure that you are simplifying your accounting, budgeting, and credit processing. So to recap, I want to make sure that you're acutely aware of these three common red flags. And the first one is missed tax deadlines. Make sure that you're filing your tax return on time. There's so many benefits. IRS audits is one of them. Tax fraud is another one of them. And you want to just make sure that you're taking very good care of your business financials in all aspects of it. So meeting critical deadlines specifically with tax compliance is at the top of the list. Another red flag is claiming too many business expenses for your income level, for your industry, and what's ordinary and necessary in your business. And lastly, what we talked about was claiming 100% business deduction on your vehicle, on a vehicle that you're likely using to run errands, go out to dinner, or whatever you might do. Just make sure that you're allocating those expenses appropriately, because personal use is not deductible, only business use. And so you want to make sure that you're keeping a mileage log to track your business use, whether even if it is 100% business use, you still need to have a mileage log. And so I urge you to always make sure that you're following us on YouTube, and that you can go back and look at some of our previous videos. We went into detail about how to easily track your expenses, your mileage for your mileage log, so that you can take those write-offs, because that is a huge write-off. But at the same time, we want to make sure, like I said, that we're doing things decently and in order. And just make sure that you are working with someone who is reputable. Today, this has been your segment of Tried and True Financial Services Tax Tip Tuesday, where we are here at your service. And last but not least, I wanted to say this at the beginning of the broadcast, but I was so anxious to get started. But I want to say today is January 17th, and today is the first day. Today is opening day for IRS e-file for business owners. So if you're filing a business tax return, then the IRS is accepting those returns via e-file. If you're filing an individual tax return, the IRS e-file window does not open up until January 23rd. That is next week. And so you will not be able to submit a tax return electronically until next week. So I just want you to be well informed. Make sure that you are liking, comment, and sharing all of our broadcasts. Make sure that you are inboxing us, you're DMing us, and last but not least, make sure that you're going up on our website to schedule your service, your free consultation, and or your service, to make sure that you are in compliance with the tax filing obligation as an individual and as a business owner. Tried and True Financial Services is here at your service to make sure that you are filing an accurate return. We love you. We look forward to serving you this tax season, and we'll see you on next week's segment of Tax Tip Tuesday with none other than your girl B. Valise with Tried and True Financial Services. It's been real. Have a great day.